What's up, everyone? I'm excited to bring you my second video. Welcome back. It's time for running back. That doesn't rhyme. It's the same word.
Are you stupid or something?
I'm as stupid as a stupid does.
Okay, all jokes aside, it's time for my running backs. As you can see from my background, running back is one of my favorite positions. I played a little bit when I was in high school. That was my main position. So you can see here I got my Brian Westbrook jersey. I got my LaShawn McCoy jersey. In the middle, well, that would have been my jersey if dreams came true.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
All right, enough feeling sorry for myself. It's Friday night. The Eagles are playing their last preseason game. Actually, let's take a look in. Ooh. Let's get on to the video. As like my last video, I got a similar tiers for running back, but because running back is probably the most popular position in fantasy football, I also included a flex slot.
And there's gonna be slots everywhere.
And there's the familiar ones in running back 1, running back 2, bench, and bust. First up is James Conner. In 2015, James Conner was diagnosed with cancer, and for him to come back from that alone is very impressive, so kudos to you. Drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers, his career went off to a rocky start. Now with the Arizona Cardinals, he's found a lot more consistency. Injuries have still been a factor. However, if he can stay healthy, he is a perfect flex. Next, we have Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson is being the consensus running back 1 right now. I'm not saying he can't be the running back 1, but I'm not sure why everyone's just deeming him running back 1. I'm going to put him as a running back 1, but I don't necessarily think he's going to finish as the overall running back 1. I'm still saying you should draft him in at least the top 5. That's for sure. Next, we have the freak himself, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, year in, year out, he's a running back 1. He's going to give you 1,500 yards and 10 touchdowns minimum. For that, we got James Cook. Buffalo just paid him. I think they're going to give him a little more carries this year. Now, I don't think he's going to have 16 rushing touchdowns. So running back 2 is where I'll place him. And I think that's a perfectly good spot for James Cook. Next, we have the Canadian Chuba Hubbard. Now, it's hard not to be biased considering I'm Canadian myself. However, I don't have to be biased because he has been getting better every season. Last season, he put up really good numbers and he wasn't even the starter all year. This year, he's the starter. Doesn't have much competition. I am going to put him as running back 2 right next to... Actually, I'm going to put him ahead of James Cook because I think he's going to have a bigger workload than him. DeAndre Swift has always been a polarizing fantasy running back. He should do good every year, but he just doesn't. He has Ben Johnson back as his offensive coordinator. Last time DeAndre Swift had him as his offensive coordinator, he put up really efficient numbers. I think this year he will be a viable flex option. Another Canadian, Chase Brown, with the Cincinnati Bengals. Nobody expected this guy to pop off the scene like he did. And now with the really high-powered offense with Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, he's basically the afterthought of the offense, which I think makes him really dangerous. I think he can finish as a running back 1 this year. Next, we got the Cleveland Browns running backs. I'm not sure who's going to be the starter. I think Jerome Ford will start the season, especially with Judkins' legal issues going on. No charges were pressed. Still, you don't want that kind of publicity on your team, although it's the Cleveland Browns. That's what they do every year. So anyways, I think Jerome Ford will start. I don't think it's going to be a very good season for the Browns. I'm going to put them as busts. I will put Judkins on the bench. I think he takes over at some point. I think he'll be a lot better than Ford. Not saying Ford is bad. He's just not a game breaker or a game changer. I think Judkins, being a rookie, young, fresh, exciting, he'll become the starter at some point. The Dallas Cowboys. I had pretty good things to say about Dak Prescott in the first video. I have nothing good to say about their running back in this video. Now, I think the starter is going to be Javonte Williams. I always liked Javonte Williams. I really thought he was going to be a strong running back for years to come. After that injury, it seems like it really took an effect on him and his play. I'm going to put Javonte as a bust. And I think Miles Sanders will get his fair share of carries, but I don't think it's going to matter. I'm going to put him as a bust as well. Denver Broncos. So the Denver Broncos are a little interesting. Their running back room currently has J.K. Dobbins, who I think played really well last season, but of course injuries slowed him down. The rookie, R.J. Harvey, I believe. I think by midseason and onward, he'll probably take over because that's just what rookie running backs do. I see J.K. Dobbins on my list here, but I do see R.J. Harvey. And for R.J. Harvey, I'll put on the bench because I think J.K. Dobbins will start, and I think he'll play well enough to start until at least midseason, until he gets injured again. After that, we got Detroit Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs. I drafted Gibbs in his rookie season, and it paid off really well at the end of the season. I really wish that I was playing in a dynasty league because then I'd still have him because he is lights out. He is so electrifying. It's unbelievable. Combination of speed and strength is impressive. I think there could have been a good shot of him finishing as the overall running back 1 if it wasn't for Montgomery. As for Montgomery, Gibbs were to go down, then I think Montgomery easily takes the role as running back 2. But since Gibbs is healthy and we can't predict injury, I will definitely want to handcuff or bench Montgomery. Next, we got Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs with the Raiders started off his career with a huge bang, started to fizzle out at the end. He really needed the change of scenery to the Packers, and with the Packers, he's back to his old self. I think he's going to have another monster season with a lot of carries, a lot of touches. He will also finish as a running back 1. The Houston Texans. Joe Mixon has a mysterious injury. I still don't really know what it is. Not really. He played really well last year. I think he had some kind of record with the most 100-yard games and 1 touchdowns in a season. I don't think he's going to put up good numbers this year considering all the injury stuff. If he does come back healthy, I think he will presume his starting role, but I don't think he'll be as efficient as last season. They do have Nick Chubb. I am praying for Nick Chubb's sake that he can stay healthy. He was such a good fantasy running back before the brutal knee injury. I hope he can come back strong. If he can come back strong, good for him. However, I don't necessarily think I should use a draft pick on him. As for Joe Mixon, I think late in the round, it's probably worth keeping him on the bench. You never know what midseason to end season will look like. Now we have Jonathan Taylor, the Indianapolis Colts running back. Another running back who started off really strong early in his career. Injuries made him take a step back. Last year, however, we started to see the old Jonathan Taylor. This year, I think we see more of the old Jonathan Taylor. And I think he's going to finish the season as a running back 1 as well. He might finish as a running back 2. It all depends how the Colts offense does. Still, I think he's going to have a buttload of carries, which will make him finish as the running back 1. After that, we got the Jags. Travis Etienne might be the biggest question mark this season. In his first year as a starter after he was injured as a rookie, he played really well. The year after that, he played really well as well, especially with a lot of touchdowns. Now, he wasn't very efficient. Last season, he took a huge step down, and because of that, everyone is terrified of even drafting this guy. Liam Cohen is now the head coach. I think he's going to bring a lot of that offense he had with Tampa Bay. And with Tampa Bay, Bucky Irving had a big season. Now, I think Bucky Irving, at the end of the day, is better than Travis Etienne. However, I still think Travis Etienne is going to have a somewhat of a comeback year. I think he's going to be a really nice flex option. Now we got the Kansas City Chiefs. Their starter is Isaiah Pacheco. He's never really been a strong fantasy option at running back. The Kansas City Chiefs don't really run the ball a whole lot. I don't think they're going to start this year considering Mahomes said he wants to throw it out more. Pacheco has also dealt with his own injury issues. Kareem Hunt is still a backup option. I'm going to put Pacheco as a bust. The Las Vegas Raiders. They have the brand new fancy rookie running back in Ashton Genty. Genty is getting a whole lot of hype as a running back in his rookie year. Understandably so. He broke a lot of records at Boise State. He had insane numbers his last college season, so the hype is warranted. I'm going to put Genty as a running back as well, mostly because I think he's going to have a buttload of touches. He's already the Raiders' number 2 option and probably end the season as their number 1 offensive weapon. We'll see though. I do love me some Brock Bowers. Next, we got the Chargers. Najee Harris is dealing with a pretty brutal injury to the eye that he got from a firework. The guy literally JPP'd his eyeball. We also have the rookie Omarion Hampton, who I think will be the starter. He is getting a whole lot of hype, almost Ashton Genty hype. People are putting him in that level. I don't think he's going to be that level. I do think he is going to be a running back too. Next, we have the Rams and Kyron Williams. Kyron Williams has been very consistent fantasy-wise. He's put up good numbers the last 2 years. I think he puts up similar numbers this year as well. Probably around 1,200 yards, 9 to 12 touchdowns. He'll have decent production in the passing game. Kyron Williams is someone I'm also going to put as a running back too. But I'm going to put him ahead of everybody else in that category. Now we have someone I had really high hopes for, but he's dealing with a calf injury that's really worrying me. I really hope Miami is just being safe with him because I want to draft this guy. Talking about H.N. Last season with Tua in the lineup, he put up amazing numbers. Wasn't as efficient with the rushing stats. Had 78 catches, and that did help him reach 1,500 total yards and over 10 total touchdowns. If he's healthy, I am having him as a running back one easy, especially if Tua stays healthy. And I think he could even be a top 5 running back. The Minnesota Vikings kept Aaron Jones as their starting running back. This season, Aaron Jones probably actually had one of his better seasons, even turning 30. This season, I think he takes a little bit of a step back. Last year, he was in the running back 2 range easily. This year, I think at best he can be a flex. But I'm going to keep him on the bench because I just want to see if he can still do it. The New England Patriots. The Patriots have a couple of running backs I can put on this list somewhere. The first one being Stevenson, who just a couple of seasons ago you really thought might take over this backfield. This year I think Henderson, the rookie, is the much more explosive player. I do think both will get touches. Stevenson, I want to put on the bench, especially if Henderson gets injured. Henderson, I am going to put in the flex because I think he's explosive. You saw that kickoff return touchdown he had. I think he can do that in the regular season. You still get points for touchdown returns. He's another running back. I think by mid-season, he's going to take over and take off. Alvin Kamara is an interesting player. Always fantasy relevant due to his receiving ability. Kamara is really starting to look like an ageless wonder who can just keep going and going. I still think he's going to have a strong season this year, mostly because he's going to probably be the entire offense. I know they have Chris Olave, but they don't really have a quarterback throwing to him. I think there's going to be a lot of screens, dump downs. I think Kamara is going to have close to 70 receptions this year. If that is the case, he is easily going to be a running back too. He's still looking for his first 1,000-yard season. Almost got there last season. I don't think he's going to get there this season again, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I'm still going to have him as a running back too because of his receiving ability. The Giants have a few middle-of-the-pack options. They have Tracy, the rookie from last season, who played really well. Then you have the veteran in Singletary, who I don't think is very good, to be honest. He has his moments, but let's face it, he's not a game breaker. Then you have the rookie Scatterbo. A lot of people are high on Scatterbo. I don't see a reason not to be. He plays very physically, and I could love that kind of play for a running back. I really do hope he has success. I really kind of want to see him do well. But at the end of the day, the Giants are not going to be a very good team. I think they're going to be in a lot more passing situations than running situations. I think most of the Giants' offense is going to be in the bust. The Jets have Breece Hall. Now, Breece Hall is a very good player. He also had to deal with a knee injury recently. He is someone who has a ceiling that's way, way, way up high. Someone who hasn't reached that ceiling yet. I think this year he's going to get closer. I don't think he's going to have a big season. I do think he's going to be worth being a running back too. I do have him over Hampton and Kamara, but I don't think I can put him over James Cook just yet. That brings us to the best running back in the universe of the galaxy, Saquon Barkley. Honestly, I'm still in shock we even have him. He clearly helped our offense take that next step we needed. And as you saw last season, we won a Super Bowl. He became the 9th player to rush for 2,000 yards in a season. I don't think he's going to have 400 plus carries, but I do still think he's going to be a top 3 fantasy running back. The Steelers let Najee Harris walk this offseason, going with the duo of Jalen Warren and the rookie Caleb Johnson. In good old Steelers fashion, I think they're going to split the workload all season long. Obviously, Warren will be the pass catcher. Johnson will be the bruiser. In a Steelers offense, usually you can at least count on their running backs to be a flex option. If one or another gets injured, they can get into the running back 2 option. But for now, no injuries, flex. Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey broke the hearts of fantasy players last season. Most of us took him number 1 overall, and right before the season started, it was declared he was not going to play. He was going to be out for an extended period of time, and I think he only ended up playing 4 games didn't score a single touchdown. This year, I have high hopes he's going to bounce back, probably become the comeback player of the year. For that reason, I have him as a fantasy running back 1. And I think if he stays healthy, I have him right somewhere between Achane and Jacobs. The Seahawks. Kenneth Walker burst onto the scene as a rookie, had a fantastic season. The last 2 years have been riddled with injury. We're all hoping to see a bounce back season this year because we are all thinking we can get him in the 3rd, 4th round, which would be insane value. Zach Charbonnet did play well in his absence last season, but I don't think he's going to be a huge nuisance to his workload. I do think Charbonnet is going to get a decent amount of carries, especially if he gets injured again. Not Charbonnet, Kenneth Walker. But I kind of have to stop mentioning injuries because, again, injuries are unpredictable and we have to go into the season in the mindset that no one's going to get injured. Walker is on the tops of my running back 2 list. I'll put him right between Kyron Williams and Chuba Hubbard. Next, we have someone I mentioned earlier in the episode, Tampa Bay Buccaneers running back, Bucky Irving. Now, Bucky Irving burst onto the scene last season as a rookie, putting up some of the most efficient numbers I've seen from a mid-round running back. Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator, has left. However, he doesn't have much competition there, and I still think he's going to have a really, really good season. I'm not quite ready to put him as a running back 1. However, I am going to put him first as my running back 2. The Tennessee Titans are next up on my list. Their starter is Tony Pollard. Pollard started his career as a Dallas Cowboy, where he had a few good seasons. Tennessee picked him up, hoping he can take his game to the next level. However, we haven't seen it yet. I don't think we will see it. I am putting Tony Pollard as a bust. Last but not least, we have the Washington Commanders. Now, about 2 hours ago, they traded Brian Robinson Jr. to the San Francisco 49ers for a 6th round pick. When I first heard the news, I got worried about CMC and his availability. Found out it was for a 6th round pick. It's clearly just insurance. However, I find that weird because I think Brian Robinson Jr. is an above-average running back, and I just hope he gets a decent amount of carries for San Francisco, keeping CMC healthy and fresh. But now that he's gone, I think Austin Eckler will be the starter. They still have guys like Jeremy McNichols. They drafted a rookie that they like. I guess I'll use Austin Eckler for this video. I don't know how good he'll be, honestly. He's not the Eckler we're used to seeing. He's still really good. Guess you can put him as a flex. But let's wait for week 1. Let's see what happens. Put him on the bench because we have no idea what that running back room is going to look like. All right, guys, thank you so much. That was my running back rankings. Next up, we got wide receivers. After that, tight end. I hope you all enjoyed my rankings for running backs. Coming Wednesday, August 27th, is my Fantasy Live Draft at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm hoping to see some of you there. Again, thank you so much. Have a good night.
Bye. Have a beautiful time.